Astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
What's going on, everyone? It's Jeranism back with another video for you. Been a little while. I've been moving, but it's good to be back. Seems like I'm all settled in, so let's get back to some videos. First up, some observations for you and some important realizations, all stemming from a recent video by Kozlowski. Now, Jesse is a geodetic surveyor. His website and YouTube channel are both located in the description, so you can check him out. He seems like a good guy, but he thinks that his measurements show and contribute to the overall measurement of the Earth being a sphere. However, his measurements are local, and in his video, he gives us a glimpse into the problems with geodesy. So let's listen in and see what Jesse has to say about the holy and inerrant Book of Geodetic Surveying.
Just for the fun of it. Yeah, I guess I'm a survey geek. I like this stuff, so I want to go and try this out for myself. And then do the same thing here, measure latitude using the sun and Polaris, and see how close I come to what they did. You know, we've got it made today. We use GPS for everything.
Let's hear that one more time. We've
got it made today. We use GPS for everything.
Yep, really funny. Let's just trust GPS, everyone. I mean, pay no attention to the fact that it's owned by the U.S. government, operated by the U.S. Air Force. I mean, the U.S. government, we can trust them, right? Unless you may have heard of the Gulf of Tonkin, I don't know, the use of napalm and Agent Orange, the disbursement of Nazis being secretly given citizenship during Paperclip, the CIA and MI6 destabilization of Iran, the funding and trading of Al-Qaeda, the murders in Indonesia, the 67 military coup in Greece. Do you need to hear more? MKUltra, Project Mockingbird, torture and illegal detaining in Guantanamo Bay, NSA spying, Rockefeller Commission, 9/11 Commission, Warren Commission. I could go on, or we could be smart enough to question a tool being offered for free by our good friends at the United States government.
I've, in my past, before using GPS, before GPS came along, I observed for azimuth quite a bit with my theodolite of the sun and Polaris. But and I tried observing for latitude a couple times just for fun, but I'm really into it now, so I'm going to do it. I'm not doing anything different in this test than you would do for any type of survey work involving three-dimensional measurements of points, the relationship between 2 points. I'll cut right to the chase. The sketch that was very small previously is now something you can possibly take a look at. And it's a simple test. I set 2 points level with each other using the water surface as the level. And so that the height of the instrument is the same height above the water as the target that I'm pointing on. And the purpose of this sketch is to get across this relationship that the horizontal plane is perpendicular to the direction of the vertical plumb line. Okay? And so I took pictures with my telescope set horizontally, and you can see that the target is below that line. Of course, this is very exaggerated. Let's go take a look at one of those pictures. It looks like this. Okay, and I've got it, looking at it from the other direction as well. Same thing. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you that if the Earth were flat, then the vertical plumb line would be parallel everywhere. There would be this inclination would not exist. It would be parallel, and the sum of the zenith angles would be 90, no matter what.
What Jesse is showing here is that when you look into the distance, items reduce in size. That's it. Of course, the sum of the zenith angles will always be greater than 180 in all directions, and this is because items do not get larger with distance, they get smaller. And hence, you have angles larger than 180 degrees and will every time in every direction. Then he says if the Earth were flat, that the vertical plumb lines would be parallel, and guess what? They are parallel. What you're doing is you're taking an observer's line of sight and looking off in the distance, in which case the sight line will always miss the target high. Not because of curvature, but because you're measuring perspective.
But that's not what we find. We find that the sum of the zenith angles is always greater than 180 degrees in all directions.
That is what we expect. The sum of the zenith angles should be greater than 180 degrees in all directions because things get smaller in the distance. Now let's listen as Jesse makes some important concessions about geodesy.
And I'll make the point here also that what I'm showing you here is not normal survey work. We don't go around measuring the curvature of the Earth. They already did that. It's in the book that I keep talking about. The history, of the determination of the figure of the Earth through arc measurements. That's already been done for many centuries. We don't go around measuring the curvature of the Earth. They already did that. It's in the book that I keep talking about. So we don't do that all the time anymore, but we can. I mean, I'm showing it to you right here. But, when we do our survey work, we're basically going out to accomplish some task. It could be staking out a long new highway project or railway project. We're doing survey work, and we just get down to business and do that work. But I can tell you this, that if you take the raw measurements of any surveyor that is performing that work and do this analysis, you'll find out that the sum of the zenith angles between the 2 points is going to be greater than 180 degrees. And that translates into a direct measurement of
perspective. Let's take a look at the raw measurements of Mr. Kozlowski and see if we can find anything interesting. Jesse shows that he measured an 8-inch drop after 7,300 feet. So if he walked to his next target and again measured 7,300 feet, he'd again measure about 8 inches. And if he went from San Francisco to San Diego, measuring section by section of 7,300 feet, he'd cover 2.6 million feet, measuring 8 inches per. So 361 sections of 8 inches each is 2,893 inches, or 241 feet. But San Francisco to San Diego is 500 miles. There should be 31.45 miles of drop. Jesse measured 241 feet. Someone should tell Jesse that we are missing 31.40 miles of curvature.
I want to thank Flat Earth for piquing my curiosity about all this. So this has been fun. I've enjoyed just playing with this. It's enjoyable. And so I'm going to continue doing that. And like I said, I'll be using the book, Butterfield's book, as just an interesting research project. That's my crosshair through my level instrument, sitting on top of the fire tower at Apple Pie Hill at about elevation 256 feet, looking at the Comcast building, which is over 1,000 feet tall, but we are intersecting it at the top rather than somewhere down lower at 256, let's say.
Maybe now you can see the problem. Jesse thinks if he looks through a leveled telescope at 256 feet high and looks across 30 miles at the Comcast building, which is over 1,000 feet tall, that his crosshairs should hit that building at 256 feet, as if buildings in the distance remain the same height no matter how far away they are. The truth is that when you look through a telescope, you're looking at a 2D image, a picture or a 2D window in front of you. You can't just take that one person's perspective because we all know things shrink in the distance. And we know that the telescope does not know. So here we see the crosshairs missing the target high. And Jesse thinks this is because he lives on a ball and the target is angled away from him. But actually, the reason that we miss the target high is because things in the distance reduce in size. Nothing is leaning away from you. The so-called zenith angle is actually perspective. So we know that things will always shrink. Your sight line will always be high of the target, And just because someone told you that the reason for this is because you live on a big space ball doesn't make it true. In this case, it makes it a lie.
I want to thank Flat Earth for
You're welcome, Jesse.
we've got it made today. We use GPS for everything.
Blind faith and trust in known liars is a recipe for deception.
We don't go around measuring the curvature of the Earth.
So you're saying it's settled science.
They already did that.
So let's do it again.
That's already been done.
What difference does that make?
For many centuries.
I don't care if it was done yesterday or 1,000 years ago.
It's in the book.
Trust the book. Isn't that what science hates about religion? The adherence to a book?
The history.
If you've paid any attention, history has proven to be lies time and time again.
That's already been done.
There should never be a problem with questioning so-called established facts. As long as we keep saying things like,
They already did that.
or getting upset when questions are asked and saying,
That's already been done.
then what you are promoting, Jesse, is not science. Science is questioning. Science is open inquiry, without shame and ridicule. Science is retesting and disproving the current best guess. But there should never be established science or adherence to dogmas simply because it's been around.
For many centuries.
And if we don't ask questions now and allow open discussion instead of intellectual ridicule, then our children and our children's children will be forced into a belief in the worst religion of them all. The religion that will shame you for your disbelief and for your open mind. That religion is the religion of scientism. Be kind and don't lie, and open your mind, find your own truth. This has been Jeranism. Until next time.